Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie, and I'm so excited for today's chat with you. As you know, or maybe you don't know, but for February, our focus has been on relationships with a special emphasis on the sex and intimacy parts of our relationship. So for the Positively You book club, we have been reading Sex Talks by Vanessa Marin. And book club is the last Thursday of every single month at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, where you can hop on if you've read the book, even if you haven't read the book, and join in on the discussion. So that's happening this Thursday if you are listening to this live. But every single month, we have a new book and a new focus. The whole goal for this year is to have a Positively You year. So there's a different focus in a different area. And by the end of the year, we'll be really well-rounded out. January, we started with compassion. Self-compassion was all about self and habits and setting up a good foundation for ourselves, and definitely coming at like habit change and goals with a view of kindness and compassion. Loved that. We've shifted into February, the month of love. So we're having a focus on relationships, sex, and intimacy. And it has been a lot of fun. I've really loved the extra just focus and priority that just even having that in the background, knowing that that's the focus, has put on my relationship, and it's been a lot of fun. So I hope you have been able to reap some of the positive benefits as well from this monthly focus. So for today's episode, I'm totally feeling like girls' night out, slumber party, late night chat kind of vibe, which is why I'm like, I'm not at my desk today. I'm hanging out on the bed, just getting comfy cozy, because I want to just have like a fun girlfriend chat kind of with you. So today I'm wanting to talk about three things specifically around the idea of feeling confident in the bedroom, feeling excited, feeling present, and feeling confident, excited, and present. I think those are kind of the things that I want to dive into. And that can sometimes be a struggle for us. I know as women and as moms especially, it can be really, really tricky to shift from mom mode and the endless to-do list that we have running in the background of our head all the time, and the mental load, and to suddenly shift and be like sexy wife mode. That can be really tricky. So I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the confidence, especially after maybe we've had kids and our bodies are changing and shifting, and they maybe don't feel the way they used to when we were younger, and we might not feel as confident. And then just how we can feel excited and feel ready, and not like it's another thing on our to-do list, that it's actually something fun that we're excited to be a part of. So let's dive in. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on three specific things around this. Number one is confidence in the bedroom. Number two is being present. And number three is being excited. So let's start with confidence. Who here feels crazy, super confident in the bedroom? I realize that you are listening to this audio and you cannot see me and I cannot see you, but raise your hand. If you've ever been like, can we maybe please leave the lights off? Like, let's not turn them on. Or can I maybe not be in that position? I don't feel super confident there, or my body's not the same as it used to be. All of these different things. And if you've ever been in that position, or you've heard your partner say something like, I don't know why you feel that way, or you're so beautiful, or you're so sexy. And the first thing you want to do is say, like, almost smack them and hit them and be like, what are you talking about? I am not sexy. Do you see these sagging boobs? I am not sexy. Do you see these stretch marks on my stomach? No. And I remember feeling that, like, not resentment, but just like, don't say that. And I had this thought one day when my partner, Connor, my spouse, was saying that very thing to me. He's like, oh, you're so sexy. And I was like, how dare you lie to me? And I had the thought of, what if I believed him? Or not even what if I believe him, but what if I just allow him to think that thought without me challenging it? I don't have to believe I'm sexy, but I can allow him to believe that. And I'll tell you what, that simple shift of not even believing it myself or telling myself an affirmation or something like that, that shifted so much for me, just allowing him to believe that. So I would say something like, "Oh, thank you." Or, "Yeah, you think so?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I really do." And I'd be like, "Okay," and just letting him think that. And I had this shift years and years and years ago. And I will tell you, it was like like when they talk about when you're flying a plane and you change it 1 degree and you'll end up somewhere completely different. I feel like that was the 1 degree shift of just allowing him to believe that about me shifted everything because slowly I started believing it about myself. And then believing it about myself, I started acting like it and I started having more fun and I started showing up much more confidently. And we started having just more fun because I wasn't so worried about all of this, like the little things. I wasn't worried about the lighting hitting me weird and showing off some of my cellulite, or I wasn't worried about something jiggling in a way when I made a certain move or something. I just was like, yeah, you're right. This is fun and I'm sexy and we're having a great time. It was amazing. Like it's such an amazing shift. So if you're in that spot where you're not feeling confident or you're not believing the compliments that your partner is giving you, I would invite you to allow them to say it and allow them to believe it, even if you don't. Now, here's a way that you can also practice this outside of the bedroom and outside of just like in sexiness. Do you have a hard time accepting compliments? Because most of us do, right? You look so cute today. Oh, this old thing. Oh, it was on sale. Oh, no. Or you accept the compliment, but then you also have to give them a compliment back. Like, you look so nice today. And you're like, oh, yes, you too. I love your shoes or something. Like, we can't just say thank you. And that was also something around the same time that I started working on as well, was just accepting compliments, allowing that person to have that thought and to have that belief and just saying thank you, right? I might not believe it. I might not agree with it, but they can have that. They get to have that belief. They get to have that thought. That's their right. And so that's a way that you can practice this outside and then bring it into the bedroom if that feels a little bit harder to do, doing it in ways that don't feel like it's, I don't know, super scary or such a jump into the bedroom. So, number one way to increase your confidence in the bedroom is just believe your partner's affirmations about you. All right. Number two, again, I can't see you. You can't see me. Raise your hand if you've ever been in the middle of the act and all of a sudden your to-do list pops into your head or your grocery list, or you're like, oh yeah, they have dentist appointments on Tuesday. And you're like, why am I thinking about this right now? It can be so hard to shut off our brains. Oh my gosh, as moms, we have so much going on. We have a huge mental load, which this is something that I want to talk about more on the podcast. There is a fantastic book that I've recommended years ago called Fair Play. It is about the mental load, and I highly, highly recommend it. I won't dive into it too much in here because I think it's going to be a topic we're going to cover later on, either in the book club or later on the podcast for sure. But if you feel like you've got a lot of mental load going on, it's an excellent book for you. Okay, moving back. You can't shut off your brain or you can't shift out of mom mode even. You're like, listen, I'm touched out. I can't I can't shut my brain off. I can't get into mom mode. I just put down the kids and now there's all of these other things to do. Like sex is the last thing on my mind. Or you've even gotten to the point where you're having sex, you're in the moment and your brain is still going. You can't shut it off. Here's a trick for you. So the trick is you have to be present. Easier said than done, right? And we know this. Anything that we're doing in our life, again, this is something that you can take and practice outside of the bedroom as well, but it translates very well here. A trick I've learned with being present in any situation or any scenario, if my mind is going too many miles an hour and it's racing and I'm starting to feel anxious, I feel like I'm not in the moment, not present. A trick you can do is to use your five senses. What can I see? What can I taste? What can I smell? What can I touch? What can I hear? Different things like that. So it's a play on that. You're using your senses a little bit, but you're using your voice. You're using sound. And this is called the power of dirty talk. Now, you might, I don't know where you are on the spectrum of how you feel about dirty talk, but it can be so fun. But besides from being fun, it really does put you in the moment. It puts you in because if I'm talking about what's going on right now, my brain can't be elsewhere. Okay. So it can be as simple as even just expressing like a moan, honestly, like a that feels good sigh or moan or pleasure or something, or even something as simple as like that feels really good or keep doing that. Or do you like when I do this? Something where you're just talking about the moment. You can even like narrate it almost. You can kind of just talk about things or step it up a notch. Start yelling things that would make your mom blush or cry, depending on what you're saying, right? So, dirty talk, it's not even, I don't even want to say it's dirty talk. It's literally just being vocal and being present. And that's how you can get present is by voice. And here's the thing, honestly, dirty talk can be so fun and it can feel so awkward sometimes. And with the bedroom, and we talk about this if you're reading the book Sex Talks and you're coming to the book club, is about the idea of being vulnerable and being awkward. And there was a quote in Sex Talks that I really love. This said, awkwardness is the price of a good, like if you want a good sex life, like you have to be willing to say things. And there's definitely been times where I've said something and we've both busted out laughing. And I was like, nope, that was that was not it. That was not the mood. And we laugh about it and maybe it ruins the moment, or we can just kind of like reset, right? You just get back into it. We're parents. We know all about resetting and getting back into it, right? Who hasn't had an interruption? So when it comes to dirty talk, don't overthink it. I really do think that it can be a powerful tool to getting present, getting back in the moment, and shutting off your brain that can't shut off. So, in the simplest, like easiest form, all the way up to like, you would make a lot of people really uncomfortable kind of things. All right. The next one is about building excitement and building anticipation so that you're excited to show up, right? You're not just like, it's not another thing on your to-do list. That is the last thing that sex should feel like, honestly, is another to-do. It should be for you. It should be exciting. It should be fun. And I think if you can have foreplay be all day, it is a game changer. It's a game changer for sure. And so here's the thing. I don't mean foreplay in the way that you're maybe probably thinking. I mean, building up anticipation, thinking about it. It's an all day affair. In the book Sex Talks that we've been reading as a book club, Vanessa says that. She says foreplay begins the moment like this encounter ends. It's building up until your next encounter. So it's everything in between. And if you can shift your thinking from that, you're going to be more connected. It's going to be more fun. You're going to look forward to it more. That can be anything. Your relationship is yours. And every relationship is unique in the way that we communicate with each other in the things that we do. So it's going to be different, but I'll share a couple of things that we do. It's just kind of being in contact with each other and being connected throughout the day so that we know what's going on with each other. I know whether he's had a really stressful day or if I've had a really stressful day or if we're feeling good or if today's not a great day for it. So that we're not on like these two very, very separate pages when it comes to like, hey, I've been thinking about this all day and I've been like, yeah, no, there's no way it's happening. We're communicating and we're connected throughout the day. So I think that's a part of it. The other part is literally having fun, right? That's what she said is like a fun and playful way to just kind of have these like innuendos. Sending fun text messages, whether they're super explicit and pictures and anything like that, that can be fun, to the littlest like innuendo, just little things that you can do to kind of build that up. This goes into the idea of scheduling sex, which there's another episode coming out about that as well. And how that can actually be a lot of fun and not like this strict, boring thing that you're like, oh my gosh, we're those people who have to schedule sex. Like it can actually be really, really fun. So as we are wrapping this up, because I did want this to just be 3 quick things you can do. Number 1, believe your partner. Just start believing that affirmation or that compliment that your partner is giving you. game changer. Huge, huge game changer for you. Number 2, getting out of your head by getting vocal. And number 3, foreplay all day. Way before, it should not just be 2 to 3 minutes before, the main event. It should be fun. It can be fun. It can be a lot of fun. So those are my 3 tips for how you can have more fun, more confidence, and more anticipation in the bedroom. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If there is like a trick that you have that you do that you're like, this is what I would share if we were at a girls' slumber party, sleepover, girls' night out, girls' trip, whatever. This would be like where I chime in and say, hey, this is what I do. I want to know. So if you want to leave it on one of the Instagram posts that I've shared about this episode, you can leave it there. If you want to send me a DM, if you want to reply to an email. Anyway, I'm always up for new tips. I have had so much fun this month with the focus that we've had. So I also want to share real quick that each month there is a new focus for Positively You. Last month, we focused a lot on self. We read the kindness method. We focused on habits, goals, how to have lasting change on all of those things through the power of self-compassion and through kindness to ourselves. So I really, really love that focus. It was definitely on self. This month, we transitioned to relationships, specifically with sex and intimacy, and it has been so fun. So March, a brand new topic, a brand new focus, and then every month after this, we'll have a new one. We'll have a book, we'll have a focus, and by the end of the year, we're going to be really well-rounded with all of these different areas of focus. It's just going to be such a Positively You year, and I cannot wait. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this podcast, I would love it if you want to take a quick screenshot, share it on Instagram, send it to a friend, send it to a bestie, recommend it to whoever you think would enjoy this episode as well. If you have not left a review yet, reviews are amazing and awesome, and I love sharing them on here as well. So if you have not left a review, you can leave those over on Apple or on Audible if you're listening on either one of those platforms. I would really, really appreciate it. And that's it. That is it for today. Go have a freaking fantastic day. Go send a spicy text message. Go give yourself a compliment. Go get vocal. Just go have some fun. All right. See you next week. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I'm so glad you pressed play. If you want to take a quick second to share this episode with someone you think would love it too, that would be amazing. If you're loving the show, make sure you go and leave a review on iTunes. Reviews are like magic for podcasts, and your review will help get this show into the ears of more amazing women just like you. And come find me over on Instagram. I'm there at positively.jessie, and I cannot wait to hang out with you some more. So until next time, have an amazing week.